Ni nyamso Ipa bebe sife Yes ya dinamo Nasu ye pari Asemo ya diamba Nasu de saya Already dear ni ma Fa yesu sanikra Eni na di manuna Manumsoi
Nix 100.9 FM so any. Now and then Friday, July 26, 2024. And time just about gone 16 minutes past 1. Abadonko apa home meet edu ensia. Me man tijuma die and the free neat 100.9 FM at the Ebrewo. Me man tijuma die ya de Ebrewo no. Me a me do chia me from me ADAKABRI Mamudu Oshioma. A senior co-character right in front of me here, Ohima Queer every year. Production also so a Panini Kojo Damiado in the Sininaso, or Fasima Jerry, or say Ajamine. Ebony Chidom, now Ohima Queer free year and so and service Rantiquano, Emino. Now a technical production there, Abna Frima Abankro, or ne Pescoba Nana Yao Safo, and when it airshare, they begin interactions on all social media handles. Say yeah, Facebook Live on Neat 100.9 FM Live. Say yeah, IG. Say yeah, X. Say yeah, TikTok. Nina almost edi ehun ejuma. Na messages so a ode efa Facebook Live on so no. Yet me akenkan ma obia atibi. Nti no achire no. Na yemfa seda emfa engineering group. Engineering group for no. Na wo mo so engineering group for no. Achu agbo walker but yakọ na najare anabuaje adasan kroma ono so yesa mrane se sempro na facilities group no the big solo and a dada and a Godfred and your friend Ubrana and yaw na Sami na Mapuna and so DJ Bosco na Mills so yesa mrane se tatai na bibia etimi akoye ediaman nti enne ifiada moso no ana akowie se chicha kakra ewo ho and the bokrata animu nsem campaign bi so ewo ho na fe nso so interviews a host of them and so interviews no and then no just back to back na yehwe na ye the interviews no na enwum kakra so enam and enwum kakra so enam Amrad was a tin tone time. Yankiana Yantoto and no man. Na Bebs and Debs for Edinkla Abrabiga. Say a year and Kaiboy, a year registration of infants up to a year adolescent, right? 0 to 12 of one. And I've been infants 0 to 12 months. And just before 1 year, not just infants. And crack a crowd on ma. But before then, and Yebusa say, Alaji, Mr. Kill, and Jonas, almost in Crabbe no dia brain. Name,
Wafa.
Now to say,
Nanko Pado me hoy away.
I said, I can see the man Yamiso so dear. It is what the man Yami. Yamiso be down pa.
Hey, asemu.
As some would then Yamia
Okay, so short there. That's no social media.
Aye. But now, and everything or baby, I was in a partner.
Often away, ask him.
Who won't pay my partner so everyone?
Then don't ever be who bang. Sana me party. And no.
No,
if I nip a crown who bang.
The now so bad time and when I will bump by me and country me.
Hey,
in the other own year, and empire the net the so.
Aye. Obi na wenya no dofo. And all bomb pair chain uncle pon say radi. me da wase so wo chicha amanfo amanfo ama me nso bi ama mo bi odo meti masemase kokro me a e ma me mo mpaye na me san senya me se o ma ni sika no san mo ne ho ban aba nko so kokro me na me nunu mienu kwa ebo masom no a we no ne wanwan ne senya
Bible na si no
we ni wanwan ne senya
ba we element ba kwa afri mu
element ne
no mo no nya na o ngangan na
and then content na me dia ma no
but
context
I just optics no na
eh
oh yeah there ya de nyame ase nyankopon say de ye o mai oba papa ni bi ache nti nyame na ye da na se
papa chete
ade me de nyame ma oba papa de ama menka
so papa say so wo bi sa ho
so ati hey wo ji wo de ma me nyimi de ho
menka sa Tese ozo se ne no ano
ekoyie mama
we di ekoyie hey
share your friend no Asante Achim Rosalinda
sa
ai
no ba men komo
Asante Achim Rosalinda share wudnim na say o yes wudi therefore ade ekochiche mebo usimu ama udodo mu ayiaba
hey
me you guys on one. You do me.
I do you. Man no go this.
Are you for almost what I'm saying?
We kununga na see fa na see. E man ni tetie for na che say wofa. Ansa na meye LPM. Kunu mpe ne da na wo bo papa bi din ye hwehwe no. Me alaji me hwehwe wo pa. Ka che alaji so me hu me. Ana on chembe bi o na me nko hwehwe no.
Alaji.
Ai.
Alaji ana say Jonas.
Ye nkwamo ho.
Aye. Eti owo eye oko East Legon ANC hwa. E frɛ baabi a Champon Junction.
Okay.
Enti wonnam Lagos Avenue. Na at the top of Lagos Avenue no. O left is about the high sense for no our left or na Muslim cemetery no ho.
Okay.
Na ka ko street Pemudan no so na ka ko Ghana link. Etunya 10 left na be hunu say special plaza for crowd nice o hoye Melcom. No wa fa Melcom ne Ghana link ne nchen. Etu de kwa so and we could do another junction. We turn right and I go ANC. We call left and I was back to the main road to American House. We go straight. I won't say, yeah, Methodist as well than CSC one. Methodist as well than come to me Kaya. Methodist as well than it's to almost your opposite Methodist as well than so no. You from a Champon Junction.
Road Minister.
To you drew happen. Also here Alaji. And I say, oh, Jonas. But the large number so be man. Aye. So the best one in Tembi and Kamamente.
Oh, my come on, what?
You was you.
And see, we ye then I say, me man need to tear for you, and I say, be almost 8 years. Na Kunuga na semenfa enye meyi. Emo de Roma unsu tibi. Ye Araba Bazin. Of Araba Bazin ye a medro and swatch ese. Esi. You
say, who dance na go dia chalaji. Catch them me kura nanka wa alaji ati. And I mean buku lunch near alaji ni Jonas.
Yene ai.
Because you see an alaji will rura West African market no. Into spending more time on Nigeria. Oh, into say we ye product to be more Jumana product no question. How do you feel?
You feel very good. You feel fulfilled.
Said the alaji when they mashia boom any mashia boom. Then alaji to make catch them say, Daddy, Jumana is here through Nigeria. Oh. They spend more time. Alaji free boku. Ekusasi ni abrante. Na alaji buadie. And na nokurenti Chinese ni aginatum. Oh. And the dinokure will be there be no be the opportunity. Dinokure.
Mati wofa.
As my mekawati.
Patron.
There be the opportunity. Dinokure mano.
Patron mati.
Because so ko busa tobinko obeka se nokurenti na wadru tobinko. Ubusa alaji Mr. K obeka cho se nokurenti and wadu Mr. K. And yes se bi obi yes wo ma wodo yepe no atwa poma no na wabe wase. Enya ne sa. Nti na alaji Mr. K no Ebeka kebe short to her because Nigeria for network so more. So say vitality in men. From Mr. K no. Say vitality in men. Into trane di kodu. So I say vitality in men. Mr. K. Into free asante ewura enkre ohini kromo no. Udu jonte ya we sane na we dey bo fanko no ano. We say bo ho gbeja ya. Mr. K. Vitality in men.
And no cry of Mr. Odame di ho dance so no aton bi.
Oton bi.
On ka se onom. Empasem. Also oton.
Oton bi.
Na se to aye to no. Emphasis on to aye to no.
Aye, de papa. Ebi to no box no ebi to no 80 cedis. Obi so akwantimfi or 120 cedis.
E wo fa oni bo ni na.
Aye, obi so e bit to share shop also to 11 cedis per 5 milliliters.
Bottle.
Na a contentem.
A
contentem papa. The baby Mr. Q free ni baby abedro no. E nyame na oye ne sa. Enti ma minya interview mra.
Okay.
Na abrantie mitu ni dini. Edin na me de to no so no astike. Baby a sa no bia de frɛ no. Ye frɛ no aye koku anyodoho. So hono. Na owodin ba ko mfimfin a no so ye anwonadin. Nanso so me de na me de man no so no. Se koku the bull. So hono. The bull in a year, Juma, and they are Pamo Angunadin, Shimfin. Kaku, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my senior brother.
And I drew baby and some of them percent be campy in percent of the manutum. Kakuno, Angunadin, Shimfin Fianna, and you do who nabano idea here.
Sichope.
Sichope. Aha, teachers F in a pen of throne.
Me Johnny Cobia.
Me John Cobia. And will be a secure refuge in the palms and arms of Koku, Sichope, and Nudoho. Na ye then a Sichope no ayira ama the boo and a yejuma.
Mamintia, it's you for na. If I said I'm actually from it. My voice is a bit lost, but Sichope and the boo now remind me. Years ago, I mean, as a joke, and I have never stopped acknowledging and admitting that it is ADAKABRI FRIMPONG MANSO who gave me that name, the bull. Maybe I want to Obeka, I said, I'm a sign, and they said, there was a reason why you gave me the bull. I don't know, but you gave me that name.
But you be pleased to listen to the entire of this in the mouth.
Oh, you to me. It has stuck. And I've never stopped accepting and acknowledging when I would decide in the man.
Okay. And my main country was also back here. Professor Mills, in the last meet the press encounter at the castle. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Na invitation. Me bray answer na me second invitation me na me buy no e dey na me dey here wunti me pagya me sa me no to me to anim less than 2 meters away one frame me da aden.
Oh well, I don't know.
Hey, just what to say the communication why you na djuma nyina nim ne growth wo be frɛ wo and was what ADAKABRI way me frɛ Robi nim question abebusa. And I was around here, and then that Saturday morning, quite unfortunate. I really would want to have this man back online. Hey, meeting a name say yo. Oh, Professor Mills, you know, I feel now working the legend say like, you better know. And of course, you say me. Or be him anymore from me from net, me from china, in chambo nane, in chambo what?
In chambo when. Inchembu. Inchembu day.
Inchembu ngane.
Inchembu mene.
Mimfra wo ne.
Mimfra
wo china. Dabu.
Yeah, subsequently, the president asked me, or Obisa me at the time, okay, why did you call ADAKABRI to ask a question? And I'll catch me his relationship with your father and yourself at the time. I mean, then I was like, oh, sir, well, I'm sorry. I said, no, ADAKABRI is my son. His father was my very good friend. Yeah, at the time. And I didn't know, but...
but he was a great man. I recall, sir, 2 incidents. Back Wo you means and semi ho.
Yes, sir.
Na Canada Japan. Can simbia. It's me one more true ya watching Jan or frame. And no person or tiddy Canada Japan. A free baby, free ba. Na I'm reaching more. And then, Basse, many Kennedy so Kasai. Na ma eventually Kennedy Babon, honorable Kennedy Japan Babon, say, prof, as me see in an Casako Sunano, young Franche, and a Maya Boating Jan so be patch. Say, or so soon, some Yaki can the African home, so declare. I was so proud, say, with me acknowledge, say, will you mean sense, someone, dear Ben, Kuta Kennedy and the Abres Arno. Let us a paper or tears here. And then Amina, say you turn case, so Bekai. And also Saturday morning, and Edmund Mengel of Ghanaian Times.
Yeah.
A year story, no.
Yeah.
It not me TV Africa. And also see a real program no one call by. Say Professor Memra. And also person or tia see the entire me can say Prosi for no crano. Omu make contact with the driver of the coach. And then so Omu can say Pani be any of she in see. And also so me call ye na me chirichiri mo chire no. Enti saa de no me no say president a osi ade achi. Epeso ohunu de ntia presenter no as a journalist no all ka saa asem no. And then the good one me ma papa no 110%. Eye say on kwada bi koye nyambrasem April fool bi say ya kidnap me. Abra me so kwa no madam me adwene me ho. And also man national security apparatus Dimrika, a better me by Aminamada, the Benyanimi. In the baby, a Professor Mills, there be a young group of Tridiampo. On Kanakuma, not as some drinking and I, the man on. Sassum, you know, and Tnassi. Oku, this is my view of Professor Mills. I didn't see a Professor Mills a Chirino, Koku and Yudohu, and ne a Bushia, especially Cadman Mills, Samuel Atta Mills, and Cassatintin Abassi.
Well, ADAKABRI, I thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yes, Cadman Atta Mills, Eninia. Samuel Atta Mills, Eninia. The first time I met Cadman and Samuel Atta Mills, not Professor Mills, no, Nyambe the president. And he took Kwanko, United States. The new president, Atta Mills, any one security person, and they call it. No, a candidate for the NDC. We arrived at JFK. My brother, my biological brother, meaning our firstborn, Charles Kofi Angelo, and a fine our airport. We went to his house in New York at White Plains and spent the night there, the Kodao, in my brother's house. Then we finished of the next day, and we called Washington, Dallas Airport, over Washington. And Cadman came to meet us, and we called Cadman here, over Potomac. That was when I met Cadman for the first time. Subsequently, Sammy Ebaho. Long and short, that is how I got to know about Tamils and Cadman Tamils. We worked very hard and we won the election. And our president, Atamil, Cadman, his advisor, and on the board of GMPC. Sami also came and was at the presidency. Of course, with no portfolio. He had no portfolio. He had no office. But never a president. I'm Nebra. And that is how we work. Give and take, long and short, and our president care, baby. As we go back, President John Dramani Mahama, 4.5 years as President of the Republic of Ghana. Again, another NAP President Mills Adia. John Mahama una would be President Mills Adia. Yeah, pacho, as we go back 1 year. It was not your priority. It's not that you forgot. It's not that we didn't remind you. Yes, we fear. Yes, I'm Kyle. But then you that on the 10th of August 2012, then we see Papa no. That was as we back. Ya pacho. 1 year. Okay. Fast forward 2016. And now one casa mount taso. Nanado Edihusu Nkuni. You conceded defeat. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You conceded defeat even before Charlotte Osei could announce the result. What conceded defeat in our NDC? The opposition. Sir John, a year say, they will know. And I'm sure will be. Sir John, I could pump and from the currency. A year say, will know. And I'm sure will be. No, say, oh, we age more class of house. President Ebisawase, President Ebisawase. Nti mami ma wo number bi na fresh our number no aye asante bedi etu number o friend na udi komo na ekwan ba mu a it is possible the president Betrayal ADAKABRI and say me friend number no asante bedi etu man the opportunity na ko share president ewo plaza house we share. Koku, what can I do for you? One-on-one. That anyway, we could do all best. 5 p.m. Of course, by 4 p.m. I was there. So 5 sharp, I was ushered into the president's office. One-on-one. Koku, welcome. What can I do for you? The end meeting I am out. ADAKABRI, where's your president? Anka. Me pet bibi ama me one. Oh, president, mami V8, mami Prado, mami Sika, mami contract. ADAKABRI, to the glory of God. And I'm the President Paucho. And this was in 2020. So check the records and see when Sir John passed away. Sir John passed away in 2020. And I'm the President Paucho. It was 2020. 2022. It will be 10 years after the death of President Now. Akonyana Awotanaso and as president. Also as an asu. But as we get back, I look at when you don't because you know on my muna, Nina Nekase, you know, but honor air time. Koku, can you please sort this place out? Koku, can you please sort this place out? Koku, can you please sort this out? And if I do my power show, or tears, no, I mean, who said, now we are the for you were all, students at the Kwame Nkrumah at the Ideological Institute. You were at the University of Ghana together at the same time, Legon Hall. Long and short. President Paucho, maybe I'm imperfect as of now. He has to go back. Then the 10 years at the version. And then was any further and cut Wakunya. And Okasa obey. And no, yeah. ADAKABRI, and then so CODA, Coastal Development Authority. and that same 2020, when the sword was cut for the construction of Asumdue Park, President Mos ne ba baako a yɛn nyinaa nim sɛ ne ba baako Kofi Ataman was present when the sword was cut for the construction of Asumdue Park. No problem. 2022, yeah, Babe commissioned Asumdue Park. That was when people realized that then Akoko Anido any president Akufo-Addo. Adomuka somewhere, say I'm pastor Omoye. Suddenly, Samuel, our MP for KEA, President Mimi Akuma, any Inland Vanderpool, any NDC for Namukoya press conference, they could call you do. Wakotu President Mos Nimuno, and I said, Nifuno, I was from Park for the cover. That day at the press conference, Inland Vanderpool, and the Samuel Ataman. We are here for them now. Say Koto Rob, Akobam, Alobam, Mali, Jane, Meko, and I'm going to show more in the answer now. Omushu, Kokonido, Akotufuno, Kokonido, Akotufuno, Kokonido. Hey, Adakabe. That was when the Odumna family from Assam, the Kofi Utwam, more friends say, Kokonido, Aden, Namakotu, President Nelson, say, and all that was happening as Mugwe Park was there. The horrible surface on the grave. Now a cardboard beer. John Dramani Mamba. Name so Jano Ewo Musieno Sono. Contractor no a year for the proper stone that you see today, that covering that you see today. The contractor was just removing that horrible cardboard covering to create what you see today. National security and the share Asumdue Park. Nti enyame ebusia the mati bia niko kwanyiro ana kotu funu bia na contractor and the ACC ho problem. And that is the story. And they say fast forward. Odumna ebusia from Ekunfi Otwam Asama. Ebi etinemu say from now onwards near ebusia. We will celebrate our son. We appreciate what you have done all these years, but from now going, we shall be in charge of celebrating our son. So, Adakabe, this was in 2022. Nanado, President, Ebe Commission Asumdue Park. Last year, 2023, at Tabas Institute, we didn't celebrate. We didn't go there. This year, at Tabas Institute, we were not there. On Wednesday, 24th July 2024, Adakabe, I was busy concentrating on launching my book at the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences. It immediately became was some Park there, the Koye, and I mean, I'm boo to Mama, and I'm boo. Kadmano Sami Elintia. Where is that story from?
A year a program a course a year during the week, at Amils Institute, Mukoje permission, and permission was granted by the National Security Ministry. Say mobile commemoration be our honor between anopa 6 a.m. Kusi anopa 7 a.m. Anna.
Atamans Institute never young Kobisa permission, young Trokrasa and Command National Security. We didn't have any event there on Wednesday, Adakabe. Odomna Ebusia and the Chirokrata. So, okay. So the Queen Mother, Chidomhima of Odomna Ebusia, Nana before the third, and a letter as a Queen Mother. And they come as a Mabwaking, as a B, as a B, Chieftaincy Minister. Say, oh, a few ways here. For the first time, yeah, Odomna Ebusia. You say you kai, you ba, President Mel, the late. And as a B, they let on come chief of staff. And my chief of staff, and my permission through the chieftaincy minister to Chidomhima Nana in for the 10th. So Adakabe, everything that happened on Wednesday, July 24th, 2024, was the Odomna Ebusia and Amoye Omade at a Mills Institute led by Kokwanido. We had no event there. We were not there. We didn't have an event there.
Nti obi accuse you say Koku Dabu Anyedohu ena akofa enipa ama womu 200 cities 200 cities ama omu eye dede eye nuisance in the memory of the late Professor Milsa. Emuaye bi ewo
over 500 people from half Asini, Sakwa, Apan, Winiba, Bibiano, enye Bibiano, Esam, Asama, Winiba, Cape Coast, Kumasi, and Kraya, over 500 to 600 people. And I could call you the 200. How did I get that money to do that? And I said, I don't know. A big good as in paper. How did I do it? How did I manage that one?
It is sad that no. Where personally, what do 9 SC as we park or
at 6 a.m. Because I built Assembly Park through the magnanimity of President Akufo-Addo. Who can stop me, Kokwanido, from going there? Who can stop me?
The next 6 a.m. now, Koeno. Na Okoye Dane.
I was going there on 24th July 2024 on my own to just go and say good morning, Papa. Odaya, I was sorry 12 years ago. No, me Betrayal. That is all I did.
You got chia Papa you know. That morning of July 24, I got chia Papa Professor Melson. And now free what time, Bang?
I left there by 6:30. By 6:30, I was out of there. 6:30. I got there around 6:30. By 7 o'clock, I was out of the place because I had to go to the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences to go and concentrate on working on my book launch at ADAKABRI.
Now, Ukochia Papa. Good morning, Professor Mills. Udana one sorry. Nyame found see na da ye. Thereafter, before 7 a.m. now free hono. Unya encounter be from Nipabia na almost aba ewana. Ohimanu a chidom himano oda odom na ebusua mu no. Wuni ni hia anopa no. Mama edi achire ye chantes ye NDC for enso so no ye nto emfama JDM no o encounter wo mo yo koku debu anyido Professor Mills woni ne be very close. Professor Mills ne maame your friend is saying,
well, according to public records, yes, President Mills every ekunfi utwam. All public records state that the late president hailed from Ekunfi Utwam. Ada Otofem, Hillary Clinton at the time was Secretary of State for the United States. the number of African leaders ever or Independence Square. Tribute, obituary. Yes, he hailed from a Kofi Otuam. ADAKABRI, mo ya kanfo, mo mamamre, mo ni amudi, baby amudi ko. Akanfo, yes, na ade enamudi. Me, I'm an ever. Yeah, ibeni. Yedi eja ade. Into President Mills. Yes, ufi Kofi Otuam. And ade enudi efa. Now, 2022, to make this matter, very strong and put it in perspective. And now, Dr. Kadman Atamio, who's United States by, and now call Cape Coast. Say, you see, Ebusia Penny, Ewo Cape Coast. A hona or Domina Ebusia from Utrom. Sorry, Kadman. All these years, you have been coming to us in the Kofi Utrom. Oba, no better at all. Me did me nkasa, me did me nkasa, me did me nkasa. ADAKABRI, I will send your producer the pictures after this program. I will come to the studio and I will show you pictures. Kadman Atamio, any Odumna Ebusia, Ewutrom, Etenase. Kasa. Now, Ebusia neka say, wako dane wo Ebusia penyi wo Cape Coast. Ene afei die, nyen odum na Ebusia. Enka ye ho. Nti yesi be gina ye na so. Aje this year aboso. That is the story. So the story is that Kadman Atamio, Samuel Atamio, and the late president, omuye eja. But President Mills name Mami and a free Odumna Ebusia from Ekunfi. So the legitimate family is the Odumna Ebusia.
And ye busa say, Professor Mills, or ye caniba, and ufri, a yet ne Mami Ebusium.
Yes.
And see bit to me, I drill down. Any person who's a Professor Mills, in your interactions over the years, winning his sign, you know. Or catch us any mommy, your friend is saying.
So I will give you the name of the mother through the family. I will send you the contact. And you may and America. Okay, your friend is say. Because it's a family matter. And I was never interested and going to get involved in this matter, ADAKABRI.
And at least in all fairness, yen to say, irrespective of Kusuma was some Professor Mills, even new woman, new word chilimpo, Kusuma was sumunano, Koku debu anyidohu. Or so the young any, or ya aiguni, onye a confini. Onim Professor Mills, name Amidin, into your Professor Mills, Mamidia. Yanko Odumna Ebusium, ewo Ekunfi Utuam. Yabeti my Professor Mills Mamidi.
Exactly. I don't want to mention it. I want you to call the people, the family, and all the noise that is taking place now. Kadman, and Sami, and to me, Biomano and Kase, President Mills, name Mami, Ekunfi Utuam, and Yanokre. They just want to make Koko the fall guy.
And only a person to your boss, and to the Kikri memo, a Basia to your boss, and a domino, etimi, ehunu, or dosron qua. Koku anyudohu, or war edema Professor Mills. Enti, Koku, etienne year. Say, wouldn't him Professor Mills, Mammy Dean, name Munyan Abeka, Yanko, a confused trum, in Kubusa.
Exactly.
Now, what can Bibi actually?
Bibi mutually, but a Yaman Abeka. Mena Messi.
You
never proof acquaint you, and I mean I may bomb my money. And you don't want a busia, acquaint you, my busia, and boss Amanino, Mina Pini, ADAKABRI.
Na Professor Mills, ne mammy, when in baby are free.
O free, a Kunfi, Utom. Asama na se asama and omoba ekunfi utwam. That is what I know.
Professor Mills, ne papa your friend is saying.
Oh, Eja Atamel.
Na Eja Atamel no. Ono nso so ofri kro be so.
Ofri ekunfi, but he comes from ekunfi Nanabeng or something.
Nse tell say at the Mills Institute there. Wuti din no a obia no a onim Atamels bia no or research on Atamels a obetimi aba Atamels Institute. Enti wonni ye nya adwene say I was say Atamels Institute a record of Professor Mills ne maame o edin ne papa edin baby a ne maame efri baby a ne papa efri ne maame manyina ne ka Professor Mills ho ne papa manyina ne ka Professor Mills ho woni anya adwene say I was say Atamels Institute I was a record no.
I agree with you, but I will not say it. Na akokase kokwanyi do and that is why I will give you the number of the family members, the Bushapini Kopna Bani. And Nana, and before they said, when you speak to them and they say, I have the information. But make okay, yes, Kokwanyido and the SCA, Kokwanyido and Naeka. Adakabe, I will not go into that family issue. Then again, President Mills, Owe Bushia, Miso, me in the Bushia. Me Kokwanyido, me in the Bushia. And they say, no, or Ghana president of the Republic of Ghana. It is a Bushia Damasi. And Konye, president of Ghana. I don't think he's seen will be a CN. And Yami Kokwanyido, and I'm going to Shugune so. And now, Wakabe. I hear Dumna, a Bushia and the Kotun Shugune so. Adakabe, Unima Mamre Chime. Say a betun shoe. Egumuno so ansana ya ye ho adwuma ansana ye sie no eye dum na abusia yi e na tunsu egunu so eja aqua is alive and he was at Asumdwe Park on Wednesday.
Yakwa ye establish say a bit me ehunu Professor Mills here kokuja bu anyido Professor Mills who ne maame da.
Oh no, he passed before I got to know President Mills. She passed on before I got to know President Mills.
In effect, no, ne maame da.
The papa de maame nyina no muni o. Tama mimi sia President Mills na ne papa ne maame nyina na omoko.
Na prof de ne maame photo ana wa on your own volition. Ehunu prof maame photo da.
Mehu.
When would you?
Mehu picture.
Okay.
From the family, yes.
Now, July 24, 2024. Maame bi ebe da na no so say ono ana chim Professor Mills ewo no sa maame no te ne nka.
Ntacho de. Me aye eno achi e.
Malame won ami anam banom na media fo ko busa no a wadi mfie san also wadi 80 years Professor Mills so no July 2024 Professor Mills July na wadi mfie san
80 years
inti say Professor Mills nka wati ase 80 years ena ne maame so malame won on so 80 years
inti maame no nya 80 years inti da ye wo maame no ena wo president no
edi oda emu no so malame won
President Bill died or he passed on. I don't like using the word died. He passed on to glory on the 24th of July 2012. 21st of July 2012. And I Saturday. Remember that? I was with him. The 68th birthday. No, it is 68 years. Early morning. That time I was government Bangalore. I was cantonment. Cantonment in Castle. 10 minutes, no withdraw. I spent time with him.
Maybe about ho. And then on say, didn't I say, ye kikri biano. Ye sua de more than say, who can go any masia na who can go any masia. It in fact, to be frank, me and mania just say, also I calm. Ye 3 boys because a year president of Ghana or Betrayal no so. Now I was say you more about him because what he stood for no saasum dwie no asteke inti boa yen na yensua more about him. Inti Professor Mills eno koi yamra de ye you say ye bibi in memory of the late Professor Mills. Woni Dr. Kadman Atta Mills and Mrs. Nadu Mills. Na nhyehyɛ bi wɔ hɔ sɛ mo yɛ biribi in memory of Professor Mills ana.
Adakabe, when President Mills fell, he passed on Tuesday, 24th July 2012. Thursday, there was a cabinet meeting. Obviously, now President John Mahama and Abaye president. And as a vice president John Mahama and Abaye president. The discussion had to do with the death of the president. You cabinet meeting and Kadman Samuel. Nam se Kadman. The paucho. Nam me no brabe. In Koma na yedi every day. Yes, every day anyway. But in Koma na yedi and I say so we need 8 years as president. Obe set up Atamil Foundation and as Atamil Institute. He was a lecturer. He was an academic. An academic. He wanted to go back into teaching after presidency because politics in Ankazana, he was a reluctant politician. It's a Kadman. No paucho. Make a coin you do. Mean the Egusianim and Koyafi into the paucho. Go and register the Atamil Foundation. You will not get a certificate today. Certificate not connect. You can even get a temporary certificate because you never know. One of you know be the kind I can register. Or pair. The person has registered it. It's all koto and that's all pacho. That's how Kadman Atta Mills went to the Registrar General's Department to register the Atta Mills Foundation. How are they? Mrs. Nadu Mills. Account. In 2012, Adakabe, I kokonido. And I man star idea no say me Jim Boso into Koye. And Koye. Subsequently, the certificate, the final certificate came through. Kadman, NSA, NSA. He was not serious about the foundation. And I realized that he was not interested in keeping his brother's memory alive. This is 2012. Let's start counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 7 years later, and I'm not because of that. Me mistake. This man, our friend, and I see the inland Van der Poy say, on none of them in call, on no some in they call NDC, on them or some in they call President Mills. You kneel and take.
You be true. Still, you perceive more about a year Kadman Mills, Mrs. Nadu Mills, Koku Anyiduho, in trying to keep afloat the memory of Professor Mills.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Senior. So in 2019, that was when I registered the Atta Mills Institute because Kadman was misbehaving with the foundation. In that space, Adakabe, I got a letter from some company, $100,000 US. $100,000 US. $100,000 US. And then let Anokoma Kadman say, well, these people are ready to sponsor the foundation. Take the letter and connect with them. As to what happened to that $100,000 US, only God knows. Koko Nido, Sebi, Minya Adufudipe. Minya Pesen Kuminya. So that $100,000 US. That letter, which came to me, I gave to Kadma.
That I received a letter from a company offering to sponsor to the tune of $100,000. But the letter no Emma Professor Kadma Mills as to what happened to the $100,000. No, I don't know. What a letter of a letter with an inscription $100,000 sponsorship and a mark at my mills, and I paid the what is it about $100,000 to from Kadma Mills? Did you hand over $100,000 sika Emma Kadma Mills? And now do you know as a fact, say, Obi at the $100,000 amanana?
I handed over the letter to him. I didn't hand over cash to him.
So how reasonable or legitimate could it be? Say, oh, pese Kadma Mills on my narrative about what happened to a supposed $100,000 US.
Well, let me come and deny. I got to know through other sources that he drew down on the money.
Okay.
I got to know through other sources.
So tell us, Mrs. Nadu Mills, in having to keep their memory afloat, Robin on also play.
Oh, as for Nadu Mills, she has always been a quiet person, has always kept to herself. In Tisa Foundation, Kadman, I didn't register him. I don't know if he got her consent to do it, but and then we do register general department. That foundation, Nadu Mills, but she has never spoken. So it's up to Kadman. It is up to Kadman to tell us. It is a now Kadman, what register at Mills Foundation in 2012. Then in 2022, the C group Biabase at Mills Memorial Heritage. And after Woody Aplanke, it was our Memorial Heritage. Kadman, what happened to the foundation that you are now holding on to some heritage?
These are your words. Mrs. Nadu Mills, she's never spoken. And on Kasa, if so, you'll be on Pekasa. Do we know how she feels about the beloved husband, Nodine, being tossed left, right, and center? Do we know what's going through her mind?
I remember the day IACA President Mills on the 10th of August 2012. That was in the park. Casket, and I say, Fnudakan, near the Ghana flag, and Afare Fnudakan, Minapeni. And he had this sword, the friend is with him. Sword. I don't know. I can't make it. So the sword was the sword of state.
Sword near Kofna.
Good. It's a flag, no, and it's a sword, no, and the Fundakano. I remember very well. Of course, you to me flag no NCO. You to me sword no NCO. It's only flag no of the coffin and the sword, because he died as a commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. It is a sword, no, a symbol of authority. Over the Mrs. Naduno. Oman Fama, Tamala Tamil. Oman Fama, Karmana Tamil. They gave it to the widow. As to why these brothers have taken the widow out of the picture. Of course, anyway, then again, when you die, the family takes over. So, okay, so she's only a widow. In fact, the first time I saw it was 2 years ago. Now, me means her, now, Obi, Madame Obi, now, ne Papa Akaberi. And the year funeral ceremony, no. And the man, mammy, in a ring. And over the ring and a share ADAKABRI. And I remember, so till death do us part. So okay, death has parted Mrs. Mills and Mr. Mills, and as a Professor Mills. Into Bushia there. So,
Oh yeah, akane na akamfo no eso amamre no ye de free yini eho. Reason being say obeye na me maame abusua na wo mo ata me maame achi na manya baabi agina. Bikwa na de abusuafuo kura na de hwe me kokofuo. Afi na wo ba benyini bikwa na akọware. Na afi na japade bi a unyaaye na untimi quantify baby maame free baby a o yire maame free ana baby obi free na wo de kwa koma wo mut ya na abusua no akamfo no opese ye keep no within the maternal sector ntin ka na matrak no as opposed to wo kwaku anyido wo ye eye ayugweni na bema soso no ni moja na akọ oba ne mu ama akoda na form wo ba ne mu enso so akoda ne nya pie free oba ne yafunu mu pe eye bema ne moja na ete eye akoda no nti na anwonani bema na asa igweni bema no woni ne ntem tesan a onya ne ba ama ne ba no enko babiada no kipu ne ma now what can't you say Catman Mills Samuel Atta Mills Omuni Professor Mills eye ejama in effect omu ye moja baako enti kwaku de Professor Mills abeso ne daye kwaku please I beg you kwaku please I beg you try and keep this place in so that the ambience that I will feel much more comfortable nyamia ye wadom through the instrumentality of Nana Dan Kwaku Fuado why the obeye so when a jamano say Koku enough jaye nuano na onyina home na nidini enna na yenyina ho ntoyen a would Koku anyedo ever consider the plea the humble plea of a jamano say onyai wo mu nuani dini na wo mu nuani dini enna wo be consider
ADAKABRI 2023 last year. What do Atamas Institute? Yanyashi. Ewa Asongepa. 2024. Yanyashi. Ewa Asongepa. So to answer your question, yes. Maybe not the peppermo and I may pese ABC Asongepa. Yes, here we me how understand. It's last year. Manyashi. This year, so Manyashi. And I make ADAKABRI. I will go there every year. That one, nobody can stop me. I will make a ADAKABRI. I haven't said this publicly before, but I will say it on your platform. Every month, I pay a certain woman 200 Ghana cedis, 200 every month to clean Asumji Park. I mean, maybe a white tiles, you know what? Because I don't want that white tile to be, to get horrible. ADAKABRI, go to Asumji Park and go and ask the people in charge. Every month, me, Koku Samuel, Koku Sichofanyido, I pay somebody 200 CDs, 200 Ghana CDs every month to clean that white place. ADAKABRI, I will not stop being loyal to the memory of John Ivan. And I don't need the permission of his brothers. Jesus Christ Obaye, Peter, Paul, Peter, Andrew, Bartholomew, those people, did Jesus call his brothers to be close to him? No. So this man called me, and I'm now let me state on your network that a certain Neil and Vanderpool, never me, growing up in Birmingham. He didn't grow up in Birmingham. I grew up in Birmingham. May 15th, 1979. June 4th, 1979. 31st December 1981. That was my relationship with Jerry Rawlings. When I was doing student politics on Legon campus to restore democracy, I didn't know Neil and Vanderpool. When President Mills picked up then candidate Mills, of our phone, of Fremi, one morning, Koku, can you work for me? ADAKABRI said, I was working at the time with the Metropolitan and Allied Bank, the first private commercial bank set up here in Ghana. I was the head of Treasury and Finance. A year ago, I had gone to the UK, done my first master's program, worked with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. I had done a lot of work. Let me just finish this one. I work for the ADAKABRI Institute. I'm an international elections observer. I have observed elections in 7 out of the 15 ECOWAS countries. Guinea.
Who any income?
Of course. When I go for election observer mission, I consult, I write.
You say, Obra Ubo in an UDD at ADAKABRI Institute, any election observation. No.
Abba, ADAKABRI. So I'm the founder and CEO of ADAKABRI Institute. And I have contracts. I have jobs. I do consultancy. Is it a crime?
Kaku, quite interesting. Say, Debia, minim the ana bentia na kikri no cancer. Maybe I true your boasia. We could come to appreciate your thoughts and process them accordingly. Me and you, General Anyudo, are you proud of him?
Very, very, very proud of my father. And that's my father.
When are you going to write about his exploits in the Ghana Armed Forces?
He has written 2 books himself.
He has
written 2 books about himself. Guns over Kigali.
Wadaruma.
But he's my... Hold
on. Why a reference to May? Why a reference to May 15, 1979? Why a reference to May 15, 1979? Why a reference to June 4, 1979? Why a reference to December 31, 1981? Why a reference to affinity to J.J. Rawlings? Okay? As some as a Bamakan boy, incidentally, Papa Suntina copy Bamakan poor. Papa no so ya accomplished soldier. Wo kwaku anye doho. Woma Professor Mills edini ashita baby ano. I'm just asking you, say, edi na wo ye ama General Anyudoho ni din ashita.
Have you written about your father? You ADAKABRI. Have you written about your father? Every day you come on air, you talk about your father. Because my father is my father. He was in the military. I was not in the military. He is my father. I didn't work for him. I didn't work with him. He is my father. I love him. I respect him. I cherish him. I adore him. But man share uniform maybe. So soldiers will talk about him. His exploits in Rwanda 2 years ago. Paul Kagame, friend of Rwanda, airborne Nabaso, because when the Rwanda crisis was going on, he was the deputy force commander for UNAME, United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda. Today he is a colossus. He is a doyen in Rwanda. I love him. I respect him. I cherish him. He's a great military man. But I never worked with him. I worked with people. Other people who gave me jobs to do. And one of them is the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Evans Atta-Mills. Is it a crime to work and talk about the person I worked for? And I'm ADAKABRI, your father was a very good friend of President Mills. You know it. Very good friend. But when you come on Lit FM from Adum up to today, now I'm a radio, so now I'm a papa, and I'm a papa, and I'm a papa. Won't you bore your listeners?
Na wouldn't aye angrani boy be a no yet Tyler your friend Gershon.
I know plenty Gershon.
Okay, we know a Tyler or a smallish piece of cocoa. Okaha wa o papa aye ne papa or bo papa din or do papa din incidentally. No a Tyler, but we're free mu na ne yire ne mother who or no more. Ya na occasionally no bana kakra meet me abuana me de abua. So I'm asking, Senka Koko, when they were papa as an accomplished soldier, na obi new papa encounter ishiaye, nanka gershon iti asye, na free gershon iti jenwanyu de hodinio, wakusu wabekabi kura no so, me no papa ni ishiaye, papa no ye ni papa mame. And to catch as a gershon, please. Kabibisu kakra, na me papa din na. Eya bwaneze wo koku bekasa.
I don't get the line of question.
Okay, I will change it.
Okay.
Direct. Sir Cadman Atamils, Samuel Atamils. Almost say, Kwaku, why yippee? Why wouldn't ye nuana nanti kama? A fed yanka kwaku, the akos will be an jai. That's when try, ubejai.
Yes, Christo, Obi awaye bia mame, esumbu mame. Esumbu mame. And I make us say you Samuel Atamel. Ono ka say na catch me that I think 2 weeks or so before his brother passed. And my brother, Becca baby. My brother, he named him the public records. You know, my brother, at the age of 27, President Mills had finished his PhD and defended it at the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOA, UK. He had earlier on done his LLM at London School of Economics, and then he was also a Fulbright scholar at Stanford University. Big, great scholar. The PhD thesis. Oh, yeah. So he came back to Ghana 73, 74. And an OBG PhD thesis now. So over 40 years, that person never brought the PhD thesis back to the president. And I was Samuel Atamil also say, oh brother, 2 weeks or so before he passed, and I need a PhD thesis by now, brother. This is a story about my PhD thesis. I beg you, publish it into a book so I can have my ISBN, my International Standard Book Number. And listen, 2 days ago, me kokwanyido, I'm a damn book ready and compromising talk. Today, I have my ISBN, a unique number to me as an author worldwide. Nobody takes that number away from me. Samuel Atamil, why have you not published that book about your brother? Asumje pakna ye poto. Samuel Atamil Kadman Atamil. Adenti na musumwan kusu amma nanado. Se onfiesi asumje pak. It is a kokwanyi do.
Okay, afe miemre Professor Mills. Can you correct me? Do you know exact cause of death? Professor Mills.
Please no.
Can you tell us? A year, by 11 on that fateful Tuesday, and Okoye. Can you tell us circumstances are a map papa finally you cut into the 37 military hospital? Tell us about that.
Well, all I know is that Samuel Atamil says that his brother died in his hand. My brother died in my hand. My brother died in my hand. My brother died in my hand. That is Samuel Atamil. I was in my office that morning. And a security in Dubai. In Ghana. Charlie, I can wait. I can wait. I can wait. Charlie, I can. Charlie, he cry. Ya dia papa oko. And then the crowd. Charlie. Anyway, long and short, that's how he left the castle to 37 military hospital. For the record. And look what you do. Na me make oil. Man financial me kabut. Man financial pick up BMO is a lie. He went with an ambulance. He went properly so. He didn't go to a children's ward. He didn't go to maternity ward. He had a intensive care unit. That one I know for a fact. intensive care unit, ICU, honor. He was declared with free access for assassin. So I got there. By the time I got there, you see, on the pavilion. ADAKABRI.
Into wo de yes security gentleman no and as a security agent no e de ba wo a ono be alert wo say akenu mu yai ni ngene le hi
Ewo ni attention him. Ni yes. Ewo by the time the master general I get agent.
Right. Into no final moments you didn't free that 2-bedroom quarter no you didn't echo winding stairs no say dungeon no at the bar from no one witness it.
No, I didn't with that.
Into on hindsight, say he's been taken ill. Now you didn't free that 2-bedroom quarter no at the banana there.
ADAKABRI, we had them there 2-bedroom quarter.
Na yɛde no nam atwedeɛ no so anwan atwedeɛ yɛntimi kura nipa mmienu ntimi mmom nsa ho mo brɛ na de no kɔ no on hindsight no na yɛ ma Ghana president na ɔte such quarters hɔ no wodwene ho sɛn.
Well, he chose to stay there. President Kufuor never stayed there. President Kufuor never lived there. Rollins was there. But President Atamov decided that I want to veteran. I mean, and I remember he sworn in on the 7th of January 2009. He took a decision, the honor veteran, because Syntax road now or no. On to me, after that Syntax, traffic crazy. And I cannot stay at the seat, at the Regimanual because my going in and my coming out will create too much traffic. And it's all the time castle. And that is where he died. He lived and died.
And now she so nipa no Professor Mills ebebe tuano so ye John Ajikum Kufuor no na oti 2 miles away from Professor Mills baby anot ye no. And I know no commute distance no on the Liberation route Edeko office. And I will castle wa and Professor Mills I know ye 2 miles on the eastwards of John Ajikum Kufuor no. So 2 miles no on the spin test Golden Gate one at the airba tetekwashi rabat one and na enunti or resolve say or bet not 2-bedroom quarter.
In fact, that is why one of President Moses' first projects and they said one was a bypass now a polo club.
Aye.
That was one of his first projects. That there's too much traffic on the Spintex road. Let's create a bypass. And all the ma Alaji Usuya construction. And that's how that bypass by the Polo Club, the airport. Now we do a Hajj village. Now Pi right. Now of course straight to the Spintex road. President Mons, one of his first because now that time now traffic now was Spintex road. That also it was on to now. Manual. And I just on it. So he lived and died in the castle.
Okay. Koku, then I will join NDC.
I've told you that growing up in Burma camp as a small boy, May 15th, 79, June 4th, 79, 31st, 79, I saw things with my eyes. Otuka Primary School. I saw a lot of things. So my affinity to Rawlings and the revolution, who Rawlings are now also a Funadaka. I think there was one Major Collison who fell in battle. And a year Rawlings here because Collison was not the target. I saw Rawlings carry a casket through the front of my school, Kotuka Primary School. Gaffy, Ewaha, Kingsway, Ewaha. I did Collison, Funadaka Nokoy. My relationship with Rawlings and the revolution is personal to me, ADAKABRI. It is very personal to me. Fast forward, 1992, as a student leader on campus, when I led student movement for the restoration of democracy, because, of course, the military rule had to go. I led student movement, yeah, boom, yeah, shame. I suffered. But my relationship with Rawlings and the NDC is personal to me. So when I voted that day, Legon Hall, when the ballot box was put in front of Legon Hall, my hall, in 1992, and I voted for NDC, and I remain NDC. So, any application I'm Troy, and you'll be the demon. So this character called Neil Lante Vanderpoy, this character called Neil Lante Vanderpoy cannot and say that he took me into the NDC. It's a blatant lie.
And can you tell us some of your university mates who can vouch for activities as a student leader at the University of Ghana?
Yeah, Bobia Samoa was a junior to me. He was leading a certain. He was leading the youth, the MPP movement. Bobia Samoa was my junior on Legon campus. I was in final year when Elvis Friankra came to first year on Legon campus. Fifi Kweti and I, from first year to final year, were mates, and I respect Fifi Kweti because those days, you can't NDC or campus. Fifi Kweti was one of the doyen of NDC politics on Legon campus. So, in terms of course, Haruna and Co came after I had left campus. But in terms of the political space at the time, people you know. So, yeah, Bobby and some YB. YB was, I think, a year behind me. Elvis was 2 years behind me. Fifi Kwete was my mate. Yeah, so those are the people that I remember politically.
Okay. Now, then interpersonal skills, your relationship with certain leaders in the NDC. First, Venerable Kofi Totobi Kwachi. Now, in terms to saying.
Well, I got to know Totobi Kwachi at close range maybe 2007, 2008. But otherwise, so I got to know him 2007, 2008. And basically, that's it. I didn't have a deep relationship with him, and still I don't have a deep relationship with him.
So during your time as the communications director to Professor Melson, the architecture of the communications at the presidency was Kofi Totobi Kwachi in charge of an umbrella communications setup. You needed to work up to him, and
No. He was not. He was not in charge of anything. I was fully in charge. I was fully in control. Of course, you defer to them on issues here and there, but he was not in charge of anything.
I just say you were not working up to him. He was not responsible for you.
No.
So is it fair for anybody to suggest you were disrespectful to him on account of you not being responsible to him?
How? Is he the one giving the appointment? He didn't give me any appointment. So why should I be responsible to him? Why should I work up to him? Who was he? As we say in the military, who was he in the Gamba? Why should I wake up to him? He was nobody. He didn't give me any appointment. So why should I wake up to him? If he thought that I should wake up to him and I didn't wake up to him, so he got angry, that is his business. Otherwise, he was nobody in the equation. In my equation, he was nobody. He should go and account for why he has not been able to pay the contractor for Assignment Memorial Library. He should go and account for that and stop trying to claim to be who he is not in my life. He is nobody in my life. I don't know Totobi Kwachi. He is nobody in my life.
And then that of John Dramani Mahama, given your role at the presidency, did you have cause to take certain steps, sir? If you are John Dramani Mahama, now on you happy, Anna?
You will have to ask him. I cannot speak to that. You have to ask him.
John Dramani Mahama, as then the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, did he do anything that in your role at the presidency, now when you're happy about Anna?
No. I worked for the president. There was only one president of the Republic. At every point in time, there's only one president. And it was the president who called me. I worked for him in opposition. When he got into power, he gave me an appointment, and I worked for the president of the Republic of Ghana. At no point in time did I disrespect the vice president. I had no authority to disrespect the vice president. So that's it. I never disrespected the vice president, and that's it.
And he also did not disrespect you at any time?
No, not at all.
It is reasonably, how could we describe the relationship between the then Vice President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and the then Director of Communications at the presidency?
A working relationship. A working relationship, that's it. So when I think sometime in 2017, 18, I had an interview with Nana Aba, and I said, I love President Mills and I worked for John Dramani Mahama. That is precisely what I was saying, that I loved President Mills and I worked for John Dramani Mahama. And people took it out of context. And I said, I worked for him. Fast forward 2016, when I was working for him, John Mahama is in a comfortable lead. I worked for him. And it still remains a working relationship. I have no reason not to work for him as the leader of the NDC. But my relationship with President Mills was different. I loved President Mills. He called me to work for him. Mahama has never called me to work for him. He has never called me.
So if John Dramani Mahama should call you, if John Dramani Mahama should call you to arms, Sabrani Jumano, roll up your sleeves, Ubeko.
Well, I'm not a magician. I'm a worker. 4 months to the election now. I'm sorry. If he calls me now, I cannot work for him now. Because if I enter that space now and anything happens in terms of negativity, they will say, oh, so I wish him well. Let him work with his people. If it is in God's DNA that he should become president, so be it. But I'm not going to.
And then in 2016, Baku Anyido said NDC John Dramani Mahama was in a comfortable lead.
Because I was the head of the secretariat at the time. Because now I'm saying anyhow, I was deputy general secretary in charge of operations, and we were collecting results at the time. And what I saw at the time made me say so. I didn't say he had won. I said he was in a comfortable lead. And that's it. Or subsequently, he considered it without even informing me. I was at the headquarters at ADAKABRI. Can you imagine? I won't say that it must happen.
And you then became something like a chicken head.
Good. Can you imagine, say, what is to the meeting? Then Osei Kwame Despite decides that he's going to fold up a Despite group of companies. He doesn't tell you. You are on air. Then you see, say, Osei Kwame Despite has raised his hand, say, he's folded up this business. That's what John Mahama did to me. He conceded defeat. I said, my general secretary, he didn't come to the headquarters, he didn't come and consult me. Before I could say, Jack, they were conceding defeat. That is the height of treachery and betrayal. John Mahama, I said, they betrayed me and stabbed me in the back.
So now we are able to process and put a finger or something. There's a way. And
they betrayed me. They stabbed me in the back. I said, John Mahama, stab me in the back. Stab me badly in the back.
You thought you were giving it all for them.
Exactly, my brother. I was in the battlefield. I was in the forefront of the battle. Then they went to concede defeat without telling me. I was there in the headquarters when I saw it on television. They stabbed me. When NPP came to power, fast forward 2018, when I was picked up, and I spent close to 72 hours in incarceration, solitary confinement. It was a spillover because when you don't say Mahama, president. I've suffered for this John Mahama. He doesn't value it. They don't value it.
I've suffered for this John Mahama. And how you this in the I've suffered for John Mahama and more appropriate.
I have suffered. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. I have suffered under John Dramani Mahama. I have suffered. My 8-year-old daughter, my own daughter, in 2020, November 7th, died. Your mama's boys say that na me pe your mama ekuno. Me did nanti all over the world. Minya takonya se me kuno no. And I'm a day me ba muja. Say I have to kill my daughter. To eliminate John Dramani Mahama by Jifagunu. Jifagunu is one of Standogwe's boys, John Mahama's boy. I went to court. I'm still in court. The lawyer for Jifagunu is Edu Jitamaku, one of John Mahama's. It is John Mahama, the Paucho Pio, Bonnie Bay, and a Kokonyo Maya. What wrong have I done to you, John Dramani Mahama? Why? Why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me so much?
And me show Jifagunu is an adult. He is with the NDC. Etro BB, FAO, quite unpalatable, though you've repeated it. And then you escalated to John Dramani Mahama. How fair is it to John Mahama?
Because in that write-up, Jifagunu says that John Mahama na mepen ekuno. So it is there. He's doing it for John Mahama, that I want to kill John Mahama. One guy me me kun onu Jifagunu. Because I want to eliminate John Mahama.
It is a time because Obi Pese Kwaku Obi Pese Kwaku attack John Mahama peno. Now what should that true be afa Kwaku say Kwaku Pese or ye John Mahama say e wa na Kwaku di wo in chain no escalated to John Mahama. Is it the tangent ayeko?
So I'm a matured Ghanaian. I work for President Mills and I want to keep his memory alive. Why should Kadman Mills and Samuel Mills be angry with me? So I'm answering your question. So I don't have a right. So if Jifagunu has a right, I also have a right.
Then I said, "Dunketia, we are the deputy. You see, he was my general secretary. What happened?"
Oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened. I leave him to his conscience. Let him be who he wants to be. But yeah, I never disrespected him. So that's up to him. And also, if you want this, up to now, let it be. So I leave him to his conscience. Yeah.
But at least you let people to believe, say, General essay, Uncle Beam, and until na walk. And then General did a U-turn.
When I was going to contest for Deputy General Secretary, General came to me. At that time, they wanted me to contest General, huge General. And I was not interested in contesting General. I just wanted to be Deputy General Secretary because I was not getting any space. So Mahama won 2012, 2013, 2014. I had no space in government. So, two things. Either I leave or I stay. And in wanting to stay, and I decided to make contest as Deputy General Secretary. People came to me, contest General. We don't want General to continue. We don't want General to... And I said, look, Eba, me, Koko, and you do me up. That was it. There was no contest. My senior consul, for the encore elections now. I'm may call for the second time, yeah. Or the third time. He was going for the third time at the time. You can take over from me. That was a Ketia. And he has never come out to deny it. That's how I became his deputy. So in fact, incidentally, it was you the same as ADAKABRI. You the same ADAKABRI. Oh, the again, I think one of the interviews, and I will interview me, will you contest for General Secretary? And I'm saying, yes, it was you the same ADAKABRI. And I'm saying, yes. I see my boom with you. And then I'm going to contest General Secretary. Because General Ketia said he won't go again. Look, when I was going for Deputy General Secretary, today people are insulting Alote Jacobs. Alote Jacobs was then the chairman of Central Region. And I've worked with him for years in opposition. May come a campaign because you have two Deputy General Secretary slots. We do Central Region. Alote Jacobs, Region and so. Young Central Region for Philippine Mountain for Kokwanyi do, Ejuma Waya Ama Yen Central Jinfo. Osum, ya Papa Kamel, ya Papa Kamel, any who. The Congress is going to take place in Kumasi. Here do Kumasi, yes, Yen Kumuti, Bebon, Kawa, Aman. Yet Tunizina, Yen to Biara, Bium, Emobia. That's how I won with an overwhelming majority as Deputy General Secretary at that Congress in Kumasi, because Central Region Francis decided that, look, once we vote for Koku, we don't care who is the deputy, who is the other one. I won. How would I turn my back to Alfred Jacob? How would I turn my back to Central Region? That's how I became Deputy General Secretary by an overwhelming majority. And I went to the headquarters, went to the same Nketia. So I said, Nketia, you told me, Mr. Wunkobio, now ADAKABRI, I interview me. Now I say, oh, yes, you be a coin, it's a contest. Now we wait for the other and I'm going to ADAKABRI, say, make contesting. You came back to contest. What happened at trade fair? The manner we know, so that is it, ADAKABRI. That is it, yeah.
Right. Days ago, Honorable Samuel Atamels a grantee interview in the studios na Evans Mensa and Midofwe Rini and Samuel Atamels can say they would do everything legally, physically, spiritually possible to stop Kwaku Anyido from further I can say emphasis mine disintegrating the name of Professor Mills. So I interview Nutie. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm reporting to the police. I have to report to the police. So I'm doing so. I'm in the process of reporting to the police. He says he will eliminate me, they will stop me. And if Evans asks me that, what are you talking about? Was it legally, spiritually, physically? So spiritually and physically. This is the same person who said his brother died in his hand. Did he eliminate his brother spiritually and physically? So we'll go to. I'm reporting.
So you are posing a rhetorical question, and now say you are posing a question.
I'm saying that this is somebody who says that his brother died in his hand. Did he eliminate his brother physically and spiritually? So, if you have the
and for emphasis, no, Evans, as I back, no, Evans incorporated words that were not spoken of by Atamels. Atamels then pointed out, said, "Menka say the other na wobe can say na maka." So, which one are you relying on?
So you tell me what you heard Atamels say.
Bia so no, okan brofo de. Kwambia so no, Kwaku no, yamanin twaso. And say you nuane dini esa. Now at a point, no, I say you stay tuned. In the end, we are stay tuned.
No. Yeah, how will they deal with me? Say it yourself.
Maybe na mengamon. Nessa you dance you.
No, he said.
Obi a wo say wo go police no. Ohene yenyi na dance here. Ohene yenyi na dance here. Chiami.
He said that they will stop me legally, spiritually, and physically. Is that not it? So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm reporting to the police. So that's it. Let him come and deal with me.
Mustafa man de say wo pewabo.
Small boys are young.
Deputy General Secretary, no, small boys are young, no?
Small boys are young. Small boys are. My color.
Sir, wakwala ni Mustafa na wo no on trefu be gina bonten be ka se wo no a wo ye panyine no obebo.
Oh, I think that what I read is that Osiseme is the disruptive NDC programmer and on Bebomi. So I grant him that, and so I will not disrupt any NDC program, so they will not beat me. So
in the event to say NDC a win pa July 2024 ubekwas me park that will coach prof.
It's a public place. I'll go.
Yeah. Do you wish NDC to win pa?
I wish NDC well.
Upa said John Dramani Mahama will win pa in December general elections.
If you want to win power, I think they will not debate a fool. When the current vice president is saying, say, come and let's debate, and you say you won't debate a fool, how did he attempt? President Mahama say, oh, or your driver, into Baumia mate, he will not debate a mate. Who your driver? Who your driver? How did you drive the car? President Rawlings reached a certain destination of 8 years. President Kufuor reached a certain destination of 8 years. President Mills died. Nanado, by the grace of God, will reach a certain destination of 8 years. You did 4 years. You crashed the vehicle and you had your license. Over 1 million Ghanaians took your license away from you. Obviously, what you meet. And also, let's go for driving test. Also, call driving test. So if you ask me whether he will win or not, it's up to him. Let them continue to insult everybody and see how they'll get the vote.
Now, do you recall in 2016 when John Mahama also requested say yenye debate? Responses are the then president and the vice any man.
But if you are a sitting president and you decide not to debate, John Mahama is not a sitting president. Why are you people creating? Is he a sitting president? You are not a sitting president. You are only a presidential candidate and a former flag bearer. Sorry, a former president. You are a current flag bearer. You are not a sitting president. We are going to give you 4 years, assuming you win. It's only 4 years you are going to get. One Awaka said 4 years. So be me fan yeshi. And you don't want to come and explain to us what you do in the 4 years. Why? You think that we are stupid in this country?
Two supporters say there should be a debate.
There must be a debate. There must be a debate. And you're Baumia and the by ADAKABRI, you know, school. You have Form 5. ADAKABRI, who see him at the HM. But you have got your O level. Also, the only at the SRI, who the O level no control. Not now, you do Troy. Odami, Echo Troy. Pius, Echo Troy. Despite Echo Troy. And the certificate, and the deposit form. Who they won't drop because you are too brilliant. Who is going to give you the certificate to go to the system?
Now you develop a convention here in Ghana, say ahead of any general elections, there should be a presidential debate.
In 2012, when Jenana was on the IEA platform as a moderator.
Goku. Yeah, I won't come. Goku. Politically correct English. Why? Kama 2001 Jane Nana. Come on, you don't do that. Professor Nana Jane.
I said when. I didn't say one.
And then I had one.
Please. I said when.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say one Jane Nana. I said when Jane Nana. Please.
Please. I've got it right.
Yes. I said when Professor Jane Nana was a moderator on the IEA platform. What was she doing at the time? Today, she's your running mate. And she was a running mate in 2020. At the time that she was a moderator on the IEA platform, what was she doing?
Professor Jane Nana Jane, a moderator. No? Why Nana a co-moderator? And what role is that co-moderator also doing now?
So, Kojo Ponkruma. But Kojo Ponkruma has not disrespected the IEA platform. Of course, I haven't heard Jane Nana disrespect the IEA platform. But if her boss, the flag bearer of the NDC, is disrespecting that platform, I want Jenana to come out and say whether she also disrespects that platform. That's all.
Oh, tell us more. John Mahama, what disrespected the IU platform, Anna?
On your debate.
John Mahama, Nakai.
Okay. His spokesperson, Joyce Baumutari, says.
So why is spokesperson that? Now, who can say heads to roll? Oh, Kumasi Sports Stadium. No, yeah, the question, Professor Mills.
Okay, I agree. So let's wait for your mama to talk.
Now, who vote yes, yeah, who Kasa said the where I will be a jail winning.
Minkasa, una wosi.
Oh, you had one many a Jerry. Na we are making messages, no. As a nipper people of free said they will not pause for a minute to listen to you. But irrespective of our views on people, no, there be a do baby I will see a pause na iti nipa no so asem ekakra. Enti we are waiting on say ukoye report say ama police say yeah honorable Samantha Mills why you then.
Oh, he says he will eliminate me legally, spiritually, and physically. And I won't take it for granted. So I will go, I'm reporting to the police.
Okay, retreated this earlier question and Busa no answer no mami here. Say Ghana, no, do we have a convention say ahead of any general election? No, I will say yeah presidential debate now.
It's a convention. It's a convention. We govern ourselves by statutes, conventions, and laws. Statutes, conventions, and laws. It's a convention now because Professor Jenana, Kojo Ponkruma, they were moderators in 2012 on an IEA platform. It's a convention. But if you choose not to obey that convention, nobody can jail you for it. But you will suffer the consequences. That's it.
Okay. Kwaku ya no wawie na ukwe na wo ba no so wo kan se Mustafa Gbande wo ye oba no ye ne bedi nkomo bi o tamale walker ye John Dramani Mahama so kwa akoye no but launch an official campaign no na me busa say do you have any do you mind say be am person me busa no in your
no.
Okay.
No.
Maybe no way.
I wish them well. I wish them well.
Okay. But do you mind say me busa so no I don't know like it can say obe disrupt.
No.
Baku many agye say one ya kasa awie indi da bia nya abote na church won sem why nyame na wa me da wase Kaku Dabu Anyidohu and Yanakasa just a minute before system Akasa fifth say Akasa 119 minutes 119 minutes and Yanikoku Anyidohu Akasa and the Mustafa Gbande so no Yanin Chonkomaka Krebie na FN saying Amra Deputy General Secretary to the National Democratic Congress. Now the launch of official GDM campaign. Mustafa, good afternoon. Mustafa. Yes, Mustafa Edruha. Mustafa. Right, Mustafa, I want to say. Now who small boy dangerous? There, dear Baya, a go when you do a disrupting this campaign be a bono, are they?
When you my brother Penny Pa, he knows that I respect him as a senior brother. I've defended him before. Koku knows that Sabu, but the Ameti and Neno, or not Traho, and may ever to it. Enti oye niema bia se ode sabiu but we would do when you need to respect and cooperate. No, you have to come of those things into consideration when it's acting. Look, we all have a claim on President Mills. And yet Kokunko by phone kwan or kwa year he cried more than the brief. Koku cannot the head about the head of President than anybody else. Ludwig Akpenology, Omonkateng, the Milan says, the Elvis Afiancas, Omonkateng, President Mills Nebak Kofi Onkateng. Koku is hiding behind President Mills' death and misbehaving all over the place. We have tolerated that for far too long, believing that in his own time and conscience, he will grow out of it. It doesn't look as if Koku have a space to grow out of it. And the reason that we have to talk about it, Mr. ADAKABRI, it is very clear that Koku Anidoho is a paid agent motivated by President Akufo-Addo and his government to continue to cause disaffection, to continue to disturb the memorial peace of the late President Mills, to cause disunity in the family when there is none. Koku Anidoho is not a fancy. Koku Anidoho is a Voltairean from the Volta region, served by respected Brigadier Anidoho, a well-respected Ghanaian who served his country. Do you tend to become the president's family? Koku Anidoho is not President Mills' family. He doesn't qualify to hold himself as an opinion leader of President Mills' family. Any day, you better shadow say, you can't Bibi, and you accept President Mills and you know and penny for the banner. He does so without anybody telling him what he's doing is wrong. And it's high time we put him in his place. Once we know that he is under the motivation and incentivizing of President Akufo-Addo, we will not allow him anymore.
Mustafa Tim Kakra. Ubai. Asmada o say Professor Mills or your Fantini.
Yes.
Kwaku Anido or ya Igweni.
Yes.
Mustafa o ye debeni.
Maybe a ceremony.
Na wu ceremony. Sa Fantini asem oko oni ho. Na Igweni atwe aye Fantini ni din. Na Fantini no so abusuafo ebekasa. Who ceremony na akasa man Fantifo abusuafo no. Na fe die be kasa na be memma the right to act bi wa say wona kasa man Fantifo wona kasa man Fantifo owra concentrate on NDC. You do not speak for them Fantifo no.
ADAKABRI.
Yetio.
When Koku Anidoho does all these things, he hides behind it to attack the NDC and attack President John Dramani Mahama.
They weird on attacking lunch day.
It happened 1 year. Now, Koku to radio to say if President Mahama does not accept to debate, he will demonstrate against him as his flag bearer. Koku Anidoho is not NDC. He does not represent NDC anywhere.
No opinion, no.
That is not an opinion. I'm saying that
if you decide to ignore such comments,
he's impersonating to be a member of the NDC when he's not.
NDC
is not a member of the NDC per records.
Jena mumpe Koku Anidoho vote ana.
We didn't say we don't want his vote. I'm saying that as we
obi open vote so now member warning say any ade.
Koku Anidoho is not a member of NDC. He should not at any place hold himself as one. He should not.
Kadiamu kwa kwa yero wansa bje na Koku Anidoho a ukodi na chi ama once na ukodi once na chi abrukro.
Koku Anidoho nya once na. Koku Anidoho is somebody and anida hokaya why na again say. Ono no ayi President Akufo-Addo mbe yusu no. They say awadane contractor. Now omu yusu no to disturb our peace, whereby he impersonates himself and holds himself as a member of the NDC, speaking from the NDC against the NDC. Koku Anidoho is not. Let me tell you ADAKABRI. About the den of Mampenyin, President Akufo-Addo will admit Koku Anidoho into a discussion about autopsy.
No himane nka ho.
Ohima timi abusiapanyin. Yeso obi ahima no adani abusiapanyin. ADAKABRI chere ndibi kakra mamre, udi oni mamre. Yeso wo yo ohima na wo ya abusiapanyin.
Mustafa.
Number 2, another program yakoya ye no. Koku Anidoho knew that the NDC and the heritage, President Mills' heritage was going to hold a program. In attendance was going to be his most respected vice president who rose to become a president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and party leadership. About the day and the national security, Ama Koku Anidoho permit the Onkonkoye program war graveyard Abra Onya Busia. President Mills is an asset of the NDC and an asset of the Republic of Ghana.
Mustafa, as a matter of fact, Goku Anyodo Akasa Afasa program no ho. Ose ono after Mills Institute or apply or any permission anywhere. Neither say at a Mills Institute ye ma warm permission to program be anywhere. Or not there around 6 a.m. And of course Chiana Papa, the late president at Mills. Or China Prof Mabu maybe chill. A press Prof ya da baby ye, na Jaquan quote to one me ba. Menso Mahaba become. Was it by 6:30 pepe? And on the day we free or call the baby. Was say as a matter of fact, on Koji on your program be why?
That is a day first lie. Someone Coco I need to call on. We can tell one who's a canopy to begin of. And two papa here, who do papa here not Yabueno Punua, Umita. Coco I need to didn't ask. He didn't bother to ask that. There were strangers around the President Mills, but you see, no. I won't be yeah. And we spoke was on the line. You should ask him. And I've always thought he's a bold person to admit responsibilities of his actions. If he says he went there at 6 o'clock in Okiwa, it's a lie. He was the one who organized these people. He should check from national security. The place is being protected by national security. So are we also saying that national security slept and gave access to people to go to President Milton's graveyard? A head of state, a former head of state graveyard, without permission from the state, without permission of the family?
Osi chidom hima wo odom na abusuamu and akwaje permission. Say womu edition Professor Mills. No eba be hold program.
Adakabre. Did my mamma kaka and mentor them and for it or him ya be Koku Ayidoho is behind all of this, influenced and motivated and incentivized by government. That is what Koku is about. That is why we say that we will not tolerate his things anymore. Also, about reporting him a police bro. I will report him next week. We will go to court and indict him from holding himself anywhere as a member of the NDC. And then Bodam Fobiani ignore no. Never over to fear, na Bodam need the country to over. Because you've ignored him as a madman. You have to stop him, and we are here to stop Kokwanido now. He calls me a small boy.
Yes, you are going to engage Koku Anido to the disadvantage of your campaign?
No, the campaign will carry a clean-up exercise.
Now, me be busao after launch of the John Mahama campaign. 9 minutes, 10 minutes in Koku Anido. Yeah, what day?
So now, be some also Obama reporting me. I'm a police.
Say Atamels no be report me. Realign yourself to John Mahama ideals. Okay. Any campaign. We are brandy and I am Mama to son to Quebias. Why?
Koku the other what was an annual radio so no president John Mahama them.
But John Mahama no catch you say a hand so good in at them.
John Mahama is an asset of the NDC.
And I'm just John no president his excellency John Dramani Mahama wakase ha no.
He is an asset of the NDC who is going to be a president of Ghana.
And indeed na John na wo di na chi no wonim so no ono ko fere ade woni aye president Mahama kasa ya wo hwe nanim ya no pagya ne ti hwe wanim wo so ne kasa kwa no asi ni tirase
eno ntina Koku Anido wa timi aye de wa ya bedun ne
me chire obibi jo
peaceful man
na sa John Mahama woni ne ye adwuma ono fere ade kwa ne kasa na ne ti sisi fom ontimi hwe wanim no ade na wo nsuam firi no ho se ono wakase bibi ha no se Koku Anido ho bi ka bibi
David.
And it focus on your campaign. Focus on your campaign.
Focus on the campaign.
Koku Anido say John Mahama ain't me country Ghana for in a debate what he intends to do in 4 years. See to Abamana. So tell Ghanaians what you do in 4 years.
Koku Anido doesn't have a locus. If he has joined NPP, he should be bold enough to join them properly so that it gives him a locus to be asking questions. He cannot pretend today to be a pastor, tomorrow at a Mills Institute, tomorrow next he's a CSO, tomorrow next he's a political consultant. So where is Koku speaking from? Where is he speaking from? Why is Koku not asking Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia about dams for which money have been stopped without the dams being constructed? Why is he not asking President Akufo-Addo, who said that if you are looking for money, go to private sector? Today, himself and his children has allegedly been entrepreneurs in his own government. Why is Koku not asking that question? When the dollar is taken ahead of the CD, why is Koku not talking about it? Koku on top fuel now. What is the cost of a liter of fuel today? So you see, when President Mahama represents the image of President Mills in his humility and candor as a person, Koku exploits it and abuse it. Koku exploits it and abuse it. If Koku doesn't see wrongdoing with President Akufo-Addo's government, he doesn't see wrongdoing with His Excellency Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, and yet, in all of the explanation that have been offered to 24-hour economy, Koku have not heard, and that he must speak to it and call President Mahama out. I mean, it's just shared hypocrisy. Excuse my language.
Hey, Randy, we'll talk on top of a year Ghanaians, 8 years. Now tell us, we are led to believe Sir John Dramani Mahama, leading the National Democratic Congress, the largest and the biggest opposition party in Ghana, and preparing to enter into the general elections of this year, December, no, or launching an official campaign. What is exciting? What's new that he's going to tell Ghanaians?
ADAKABRI, tomorrow will show a clear roadmap of what is required of us as NDC to secure the victory of the 2024 election, which is a prayer topic, the aspiration, the long-awaiting expectation of all Ghanaians. That we must get rid of a corrupt government, a syndicate that have undermined our country, a syndicate that only know how to dissipate, a syndicate that lacks governance, integrity, and credibility, a syndicate that lacks morals in terms of what they do, even with public office. Ghanaians cannot wait to remove this government as a source of their pain and frustration and agony. Tomorrow, there will be a clear call for all Ghanaians to follow. Number two, tomorrow there will be a call, and what will be very exciting will be that there will be a call for the rank and file of the NDC to get involved in the general campaign. Because ADAKABRI, your party, you started reorganization since last year. We have been able to come this far, united and intact. We don't have any cracks in our party. So all those who matter will assemble here to be part of the 2024 campaign. It's an announcement to Ghanaians that Abafra Onia Obeyino Olia who said the Oyen and Yema. We are ready to lead this country as a solid team, a focused team that brings everybody to the table of the decision making. That is what Ghanaians expect of the NDC. That is what Ghanaians expect of any political party that is positioning itself to win an election. And here one more, and then Ebimu na butterfly, and then Ebimu also one campaigning one candidate because they believe the candidate has failed. The party is disintegrated with corruption and greed, but yet they say Ghanaians should vote for them. ADAKABRI, tomorrow will be the beginning of the liberation of this country from a greedy group of people who, out of fearlessness of the people of Ghana, have gone to put a document called Ajapadie, how to rule, cheat Ghanaians to their advantage and their children. Tomorrow will be a beginning of the liberation of this country from their hands. Look, it is very clear that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not having any aspiration to be a president. He is being used as a conduit by President Akufo-Addo to continue their greed as far as the ADAKABRI document, which has been revealed, is concerned. And they have never denied that document. Even if they denied it, I will be shocked because they have implemented every single thing in that document, including how they blackmail pastors and men of God to achieve their aim. If you look at the first page of that document, it says, Nana Akufo-Addo's arrival is a reincarnation of J.B. Dankwa, and that Ghanaians did not give and awarded J.B. Dankwa what he deserves. So they are going to continue that agenda. They even have what they call children's fund, generational fund. They have war fund. That barbaric, that treasonable objective of a small group of people tomorrow will be the beginning of a liberation of these peaceful country from their hands. There is no way President Akufo-Addo should be allowed to go scot-free with his atrocities against the people of Ghana. There is no way. And tomorrow begins that course. The course of accountability for public behavior that have been demonstrated by officials of state under President Akufo-Addo will begin tomorrow. And so I tell you, man, and your NDC for Kwandia, a Ghana phone in an almost about fry your friend that Chibano. Extra, you begin the campaign at the said you what Ghanaians are waiting for no will come. So it's a big day for the people of Northern Region. It's a big day for the NDC. It's a big day for Ghanaians who are hard pressed, Ghanaians who are oppressed, Ghanaians who are suffering, Ghanaians whose businesses have collapsed. In fact, let me tell you, ADAKABRI, business people who have financed President Akufo-Addo to become president, he has collapsed some of them, their businesses. All of these business people cannot wait to see the back of this government. Key members of the MPP who believe that the agenda of President Akufo-Addo and the Chenti brothers was to cut everybody out except themselves are all praying and they cannot wait for this government to be taken out of power. That agenda begins tomorrow. There is going to be hope, the flag of hope being raised high. Tomorrow, a commitment to win the election will be raised high. Tomorrow, our vigilant commitment to protect the vote of Ghanaians in 2024 election will begin and will be announced tomorrow by party leadership. That is what Ghanaians are waiting to hear, and that is the exciting thing that is going to come out of tomorrow's campaign launch in Tamale. Again, we are launching it in Tamale for the first time in the history of our country. A political party is launching its campaign in Tamale, and you know that Northern Region is one of the lifelines of the NDC. We are back home to our roots. We are back to carry everybody on board. We are back to everyone that was disgruntled to say, rise up and let's move together. We are back to tell everyone who was deceived by the MPP to say, come back home. We are going to set another history. The history of the NDC has always been to develop this country. In fact, we have never had a president of Ghana who has consigned what Ghanaian deserves to himself and his family like President Akufo-Addo have done to us. And that, for me, I believe that generations should not forgive him for what he has done. That conversation will happen tomorrow.
Ananti manifesto so aka ho ana.
That we are answering the document manifesto so there. Actually, a campaign team launch, party leadership with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is running mate. We come together to launch the campaign officially, which means that the following day, each and every member of the NDC, members of parliament, constituency executives are supposed to begin the 2024 victory agenda, door to door, community engagement, engaging people who will sell our story, We'll tell Ghanaians our story. We'll let Ghanaians understand the circumstances we find ourselves. We'll let Ghanaians understand the threat that this government constitutes to our future. We'll let Ghanaians understand the damage that President Akufo-Addo at 80 years have motivated his people, incentivized them to cause against the people of Ghana. We will tell that story. We will read daily all the things President Akufo-Addo have done against Ghanaians to the people of Ghana. We will go to every village, every cottage, every city to tell our story. We'll tell the Ghanaian story. And we'll tell Ghanaians that let us remove this criminal-minded government and reset the destiny of our country. The hopelessness is becoming too much. Ghanaians are confused. Ghanaians cannot live in their own country and be happy. Today, graduates cannot get jobs. The solution of this government to unemployment is to recruit people who don't have qualification into security services. That an interior minister conduct recruitment at the interior ministry when security agencies are sitting aback. That is their solution to unemployment. That today, they are seeking to engage post-national service personnel. Meanwhile, they are owing current national service personnel for up to 4 months. They are owing NAPCO trainees their own initiatives. They are owing them 7 months. They haven't paid them. These are the people with effrontery parading themselves that Ghanaians should give them power again. We will expose them. We will say all the corrupt deals that Akufo-Addo have cooked, himself and his family and his appointees, and they have benefited from same, we will tell to Ghanaians. That is what is going to start tomorrow.
Now, Jamama ever catch whether or be engaged in the presidential debate or not, Anna?
Presidential debate, media. Yeah, President John Dramani Mahama, a candidate. Yeah, President Manin debated Baumian, own debating it. The wood I know, but down for the youth Taula, own in it. Vice President Mahmoud Baumia is not a person of track record. He doesn't have any good image. Credibility zero. The only vice president on the public record who lies. He tells lies. He has convenience in lying. How do you debate such a person? Are they saying that Ghanaians are not hard-pressed enough to know what is wrong and what is right except through a debate? Is that what they are saying? When we were in power and asked President Akufo-Addo to come for a debate, what did Baumia say? So the rules must change when it is convenient. What are we going to debate about? That Ghanaians don't know this government is corrupt. That Ghanaians don't know that under President Akufo-Addo, a minister of state developed boldness to want to buy state assets. A minister of state. Come on, what are we debating about? We will not debate today. We will not debate tomorrow. They can go and bend the sea. We are busy telling Ghanaians what we will do. We are busy telling Ghanaians what will be done. We are busy having social engagement with the people of Ghana who are victims of a corrupt regime led by His Excellency Akufo-Addo. We are busy engaging them how to turn things around. That is the most important thing. We don't have time for Nkrofua. Look at what Napo went to say in Kumasi. ADAKABRI, were you not shocked that it came from a running mate, a supposed running mate, a man that is going to occupy the second most powerful seat of this government, speaks like that?
But isn't it surprising, say, NDC as an organized, meticulous party, na 3-4 months to elections. Na muntime from Manifesto MI. But you want to spend time to launch the campaign.
Manifesto, I can't Oh, ADAKABRI. 24-hour economy, the main can't look. The MPP is
but that is the bane. Say, how did President Mahama came by 24-hour economy? Because as a on one or can semono. Untimi explaining MINTimi within a context of a summer or can. That is if I could finish. I say Obia Kaguna sum and on also where you so and unti the explanation name matter say or ye original think beer person di bibi ba. So tell us, 24-hour economy no, where in the manifesto does it appear?
Original thing can I branded as economic whiskey that so let President Mahama remain what they think. But the most important thing is that they are sponsoring people to dent the 24-hour economy. But Ghanaians, ordinary Ghanaians understand. Because the explanation was given to ordinary Ghanaians, not the MPP headquarters, not Jubilee House. ADAKABRI, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama told this whole country. That program, no, and Mahmoud Baumia, His Excellency, one copy, and one more year, we went across this country and engaged stakeholders, told them what John Mahama as president will be doing. We went to the north, where His Excellency President Mahama told Ghanaians to say, when he becomes president, all agric districts will have agric service centers.
Oh, and you any message Yamodenam?
ADAKABRI.
Any message Yamodenam?
But what message do you expect?
Given the current Ghanaian situation, and now country Ghana for say, young farm that you can do it better. Now, when you mean count you any message, Biana, or to me, I can say this is a message of hope. So tell us, what message are you sending around?
You want to drink the soup and leave the food. Manifesto, Beba.
Me busa say message. Muna. President John Mahama or Nami message Ben or the nam.
Hey, me say, I think I 24-hour economy. My President Mahama's policies are Okano, baby, yes, in the app. You are aware of factories that he intends to build in terms of cocoa sector, okay. In terms of cashew sector, okay.
Mustafa, hear me. Seminu ria, making sure say ko Facebook live. Next high interview ya me no wo ye no. Ko na ko fa sa interview no. Na say tie biem. Almost 10 million Ghanaians are between 18 and 35. Omo na do so register no. Omo na omo ho kire omo Ghana. Message ben and John Dramani Mahama all targeted as San Quadano 18 to 35 for youth. At the end of the number walker, on the door song. What are you going to do for them?
ADAKABRI. And you want to say 24-hour economy will turn our employment situation around. That when we run 3 shifts a day, if your source of employment was 1 person, you will now employ additional 2 people. That when you create incentives for factories to be expanded and built in terms of production capacity, it will increase jobs for people. That when you run services in the night, instead of closing down after 6 p.m., there's a night shift that is going to work. We create demand for the goods that you produce. That is going to engage a whole lot of workers in the night shift. Is that not a message? ADAKABRI, that you go to places, government services in the night, even hospitals. They close down certain services and you are restricted to some few services. Then we say that under the 24-hour economy, all services will run 24 hours. That means that more doctors, more nurses, more cleaners, more security people will be engaged. Does that not resolve our unemployment situation halfway? The 24-hour economy is a game changer for a Ghanaian youth or between 18 to 35. Because you are going to get a reliable job that pays you. ADAKABRI. Then we are saying that Yabeka factories, Yabeka companies will look at a year in that on person who did not. Now, I buy a woman, no one teenage now. Come in. ADAKABRI, if you assist one company to stand on its feet, you are creating jobs for a lot of Ghanaians. That is a message that resonates with the people of this country.
Production capacity. It is saying ubetimi a sustaining 24-hour economy as you explain it.
What their capacity?
Production capacity. It is saying.
In terms of what?
It is a my way at my normal means and yeshe. Agric, manufacturing, and services, right?
Yes.
And now, yebusa say in agric, production base, it is saying in manufacturing, it is saying. We say be 24-hour economy, more of the services sector. And now they continue to say production capacity.
24-hour economy is just not at the service sector. But then Mama talking about it say, who call manufacturing? So for example, in the manufacturing sector, let us give tax incentives because we are going to create more jobs. The most important focus of government is to provide jobs for the youth. And so when you give tax incentives to companies, they will be able to cut down costs. When you operate 24-hour shift, the electricity that you use, let's say that at night, your consumption that you consume, the cost is cheaper than day. What it means is that you are cutting costs. A lot of work will be produced. Then, if it is about import, we are able to restrict importation of what is produced in Ghana because we are now able to produce to service the demand. ADAKABRI, a lot of people within the chain will benefit. It is not just the company owner.
Mustafa, the time can say quiet and tea and be in the say. And you know, they can say 24-hour economy, 24-hour economic. What your mind will say? What Greek? And Busa said, at the performance at the saying. And son of what manufacturing. Once I would be a Greek and also so no. And now would be materials, raw materials, I would be manufactured normal. Now manufacturing base and also so no. At the saying, Uko, Kawako Jessica, our banker. Lending rate no at the saying. Lending rate no so no. Oh, share Bank of Ghana. Or deep a year policy rate, no. At me at the aqua as through as if so or targeting inflation into a no the cost 18 pet now lending rate also 2021. Into cost of doing business so the union to say a high away ha. Into Sikano or quadri set up factory at the produce baby no a year rate no a too high. Into the Busa say Upasa or ramp up or production base no one. Ubetimi aye ama aye lending rate no aba from the shock therapy o the other means so na so wonya enough money etimi e manufacture normal to do afei na wo ye de ben wo expect say emrante ne mabawa na ebenya adwuma ye. What is John Dramani Mahama saying about this scenario here in Ghana?
It's a long conversation, but I'll tell you this. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I've spoken about the agri sector. He said, sir, we have to increase production. To increase production at the agri sector. Ordinary farmers who today cannot even acquire a cutlass, let alone a bag of fertilizer. Government will intervene to support every young person, every individual who is a farmer to be able to cultivate. That is why we are going to have agri service centers. When you have agri service centers, he said, we are bringing back the local cooperative unions where government put a seed money into a cooperative union of farmers. You can access that fund, go into farming. When you harvest and you sell, you pay back. Then the money grows. That is the foundation of where we need to start from. So, Equiania or Dobaira on Timin not 10 acres because when Nisika now they are or the spray, Onisika or the better nasa spray, Onisika or the better grant here. ADAKABRI, all of those things will be catered for by government. Those are the interventions President Mahama has spoken about. Oko to the cocoa sector. And then we sell our raw seed. President Mahama already has a track record. So in terms of cocoa sector, he is the only president or buyer offer free seedling, free fertilizer, free spraying to farmers. And that all those things do not exist. So he says that he will bring those things that he was already doing back to cocoa farmers. In addition to that, he will build factories in the cocoa areas. That who harvest will produce one. We will process and add value to the cocoa. Ghana for the home passport. Abayim the home passport. ADAKABRI, that is where it starts from. When you come to industry, he has spoken and engaged with trade unions on how to make trading very easy. And then the bottleneck, the largest challenge that every trader is going through is the currency. For which I won't go there because it's a very technical conversation. When it comes to this area, other people have better understanding than I do. But President Mahama has spoken about these things. And so Manifesto the Bible here, just as we are having a conversation about campaign lunch today, we'll have conversations about what is going to happen, what is going to be contained in the manifesto, so that all Ghanaians will have that conversation to detailed understanding. So let's not drink the soup and leave the food behind.
Okay.
But I can assure you, sir, when we get there, ADAKABRI, you will be an exciting person. You will be an excited person because there is hope for this country. If you look at what has been said by these people, and if you look at what they have done, it's so sad that cumulatively all Ghanaians must commit to reversing the trend and re-engaging another process of changing and transforming the lives of Ghanaians. All those will be contained in the conversation of a manifesto. MPP manifesto, thing. But they are busy talking about credit rating, for which you and I know that is gambling. You know that, and I know that. So why is the MPP worried about manifesto when they haven't lined their own manifesto? Are they not the people in government? Why are we not asking the sitting vice president to rather put his policies in motion instead of continuing to promise Ghanaians, knowing that he doesn't have a single bit of credibility or fulfillment of his promises? That is the little I can say about our message.
Right. Why are there? Now, on Facebook Live, somebody is asking, say, we need explanation on the 24-hour economy. And this is how a response from one of the listeners, the Betrayal channel, or say, even the host pretend not to understand why, even the host pretend not to understand. So why will a fool like you understand? Nah, the problem.
It's an unfortunate response.
Let me just into a two-hour one, and also the problem is not only people like you, but an idiot older people like this host. So no, me my say church na dia onte ase watimi ayeden watimi ate ase achirompo ama certain angles so ukwa tabotie na message be na modernam mama data say up to 10 million of the Ghanaian voter 18 to 35 our listening na dia na wo ka dia ma wo onu say because what doing this year ma and what fan what they can be the actually.
ADAKABRI.
Mustafa.
What was that? Yeah, old Chakwa who's that here? Kromuha. Nobody can progress without the moderation and direction of journalists like yourself. It's unfortunate that will be Kasadia Trail. But that is not how I understand your grilling this after. ADAKABRI, you are historically you are known to grill everybody. And I am not an exception. Who of us in me? And I admit, sir, who the camp fits has a bigger responsibility. We have a mandate to fulfill. We have people to convince. We have explanation to give to people. So every day we'll do that. But the reality is that all MPP people have decided, sir, they will blacklist their brains and say they don't understand 24-hour economy. But day in, day out, as patient as we are, we will continue to engage and explain 24-hour economy to them. Because it's a good policy. It's a policy that will benefit all Ghanaians. So let me apologize on behalf of my colleague who may have said something to you wrongly. That is not a response to a journalist who is grilling, an interviewer. And that is not how I understand your grilling. But the issues are that the MPP is highly motivated to say, continuously say, including sponsoring surrogates to bastardize the 24-hour economy. To say, just to discredit it, that it's not a good policy. But it is going to be a policy that will make the change. A policy that the Ghanaian youth understand. A policy that the artisans understand. Look, you started 24-hour economy. Mechanic be of magazine. ADAKABRI, okay, that story no.
Come to you.
Oh yeah, video set or no crano. Anya answer at 24-hour economy because that would need. But the thing I'll call the shop wa. Or yeah, a juma 24 hours because of the light was on the sewer. All stays in Crawford cars 24 hours. It means that the cam you know now be says here. You see how be says the bear cam 9. Meaning now no say. Juma and Kovobenya Womoka them, the Kababa bottom, that improves the life of the ordinary Ghanaian. So it is not just the service sector, it is not just the manufacturing sector, the artisans will benefit. The Chinese people who come to this country, they work 24 hours. Go and check the Chinese construction companies. They work day, they go on shift, they turn on their lights, they work in the night. If the Chinese people can do that in our own country, we can do it better. And government is saying that we will put a deliberate policy that will make it easy for you to do it.
Okay, Frank Rekoma, John Dramani Mahame, Sir, Insura FM, Kumasi. Na at the morning show, time, Ikruimun Sam, almost say, almost a special pool for 58 women. Kumasi. The special pool of 58 women Kumasi no. Emu 29. I say omo pe John Dramani Mahama. Emu 16. Eso omo pe Alan Tramatne. Emu 5. Eso omo pe Dr. Muhammad Baumia. Emu 5. Eso omo pe Pambedi Akocheda. Ifasa ankra no kokomano.
Oh you are say aka. Because Emma Kuro so this is the conversation, this is the reality. Because mothers cannot even take care of their children. This government continue to lie on free SHS when parents are suffering. And they know that our students are not getting the best of services. But our mothers know. And they won't even come million. Kana ya wan sa se do eburo edo emo now so today koko won't even tompo no ama oba. That is the outcome. So let the MPP people continue to share money and tickle themselves and say that they are on top. 2024 December nyamia okata suru ADAKABRI so da so nyamia obesi o yin pa magana for what omo.
Right. Yade was Papa Mustafa Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Yade was pa so. Mustafa Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and the Attrition Komo, a China program, a war Tamale, John Dramani Mahama, leading the National Democratic Congress. Now, one campaign, say, you do 2024 general elections in the Mono, or Mokako Denedy, and now, Dimunchemo Diabre. Nakia, Naima, you me phone line, Anna. Okay. 0302 257902 0302 257902 and I say 0302 243540 0302 243540 na kwaku anyidoho enne di nkomo extensively 2 hours and say yene Mustafa Gbande aso adi nkomo just under na ni nyina mu no ensusuedie bi wo ho a adwenkyere bi wo ho a ana nkomo bi so wo ho a mieni demo hye so deaths and deaths registry ana omo ye sensitization in the Greater Accra it nipa amuti Greater Accra say nyina any regional office of the births and deaths omo say omo de tumanim so omo ye nhyehyeye say ye betimi register nkwala ya wo mu bebre ewo eye 29 districts ewo Greater Accra ha say yakoda afe na nga up to say obedi afe akoda ye wo no nga ene up to say obedi afe sankwada ni nyina ye twirotwiro wo mu din eni no say ye twira akoda ni din a eboa makwala no wonya emramu no onya ne ginabre saa so ena makwada no no ma bia wo hwehwe no be hospital be ko school ni nyina mu yetimi ahwe na say yetimi nya eye registration a akwala ni din a ye twiro no ewo mramu yi a eboa ama aban so hunu hospital dodo ayesie eboa ama aban timi ehunu school dodo ayesie eboa ama aban etimi ye noma bebre de man enu nti we call district offices of the births and deaths registry we call weighing centers we call health facilities ye the mobile registration team aso ne na mmea bia muntimi emma kuromu oni ade no ni nyina no na akoda ye wo ne nga ene ekosi akoda wadi afe na ye ntwende no di kachire eye wabusuafo kachire wanyonkofo kachire nipa no mo tempotem no na ye nyina ye ntwe adwene nsi so se ye boa amasa ade yi ye betwetwe nkwada ne din no etimi ayeye enti wasesa anhyehyɛ we nyina ye de agu akwan mu fitin eye kutansa busumi ne de toso aduonu mienu ekokosi eye ahini me bosome ne de toso aduasa afimpinu aduonu nan eye today eye from July 22 to November 30 2024 and a births and deaths for omo yes anhyehywe dipa hojim na nyina ye mo aboa. Good afternoon my neighbor na yentie waku anyudo ho nkomo Mustafa Gbande nkomo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ADAKABRI.
Yaya mientie we.
Yeah, me chair the incoming president, Alan Kojo Chiramanti. Uza officer Manifesto ni ada dia monfo muhu bebi omudefa. The two political parties 32 years. Ubia ni clear manifesto odi Ghana beko. Alan Chiramanti independent candidate. Odi ni GCC abatu ho. This is the way I agree. Uza manfo they say no omo wiawia Alan Chiramanti proposal now they buy the way Ghana to go no. Uza omo wiawia nkakra. And me ba yeah president one year the baby tune. And me say enough is enough. 12 years. Mu mapa pay en na me kwakwa ndo ye nyina ye balance boy. Yebia obi anim say brigadier ni do no ye Sergeant commander ewo Kumase. Ye nim 1996 omuko road march or the NDC flag edit tulukom ema hula balu and now no say chief of defense staff ewo Akasia ase into be nim ni papa relationship with Rollins associated with the NDC you know. And this kwakwa anyi do because the students ayina ma on Rollins on huna or hono na nyane kre because me na me ti jubilant ajede soku na ne papa ti bangola number 49 ewo jubilant and Rollins is not that an otigonda until Achana kuna osheli mota ne ko see Rollins baby na order no now ona Rollins obo no to fever gonda no di call council. And you know, oh, you're good. You are public speaker. Oh, kasa. Yeah, na me bow about the way we kasa with them, no. But yeah, can most also. I know busi any jai. So hono ODD ma obia who say hono ODD but the way we see no man at oh you good. Oh papa na nima say and say Barack boys anya say me that say.
Yes, yeah, they was say 0302 257902. Good afternoon. 0302 243540. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And you patch for saying?
Patch family.
You ne kumi mi ntiwe.
Patch na Andy no fufu Andy fufu bi na samba Ghana na say Andy na ye ni na ye. Mabu ya brefu 1992 na bana sa Andy bona no mo di dia omon di pa wana mbewo free as na omo ankasa na. So mo ankasa dia bi pa wo fidi fa mo mate say. Yankopon boss na sa se onyanguye no omo di ntini boto ma omo nwene da omo babu no asi ache no mo ma no no betena aso na ma po bede ye ntiru bia di asantefo atemi yo gamfunu de ofi asantefo na nkostu o mesadi wo wachi mbe je ngo asi apoto me na wasepa
0302 257902. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wafa ADAKABRI.
And you near frost in ye?
Wafa Bachewe Wafa say Nana Amwakuni.
And now I don't remember in Tiwe.
A Swas Mudri and Uncle Wedgman Funina, our studio.
Amen.
Any of my small Yama, my Ghana, or Yajima, that's for my Ghana. Na Nakatre and Father Cabez and interview our own and see Mustafa Bandu, and I can say, actually, clear said, NDC, any Posia, on the back, the man of my Mabuna organ. I cannot say almost say, Ghana couldn't wear duty, and what advantage on for the idea of power. Because when man so clear, Posia, on the back, I'm out for now, girls are, and the assembly I'm catching you for now, over between 8 to 35 years now. When man so Posia, the young one is a very good point. So, Michelle, you must man. You are a good father and about me. I jam on my Ghana. And then I generate one air costume. And they should focusing in some choir abandoning him. She is Unibar to Casa to Unibar with the abandoning him. She don't do what I to do with the abandoning him. Let's say, a school free. Let NDC and Meraso and Mabum up to my yen. You know, your market Ghana for yourself on your magic over to Maconagan and Mabuania to my yen. Men make other information in South the Bamu to my yard. Me true say your man yes about the Katana for and never favor Ghana for. The kind of saying Jensen, the MPP abanity. Maybe the banning him. Ned must work for the Ashas and you know about members of own year. Because anything also a share for you 3 years. And you come cut the man that you look for the negotiator arrest at the man that form. And then never tell one that Omuchamunum. I get an about store, yeah, and only be for my continuation. Any bigger cat, and I just saw a share of the coast school. If they say, yes, okay, how many bad? I get a bit of a back and up. I don't know one or man can on the Africa, only be for Morgan for Ghana for Mosuma, Jamaica or Father.
0302 243540. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Papa Abomo.
About the other room, I want you now so.
And you go back to me.
The frost saying,
You pray Manuel Dudu.
you must do me into way.
Yo. Na abrimu kasa bibifuno kasa ise na wanti Ghana ana na ekosonti e wonde won. Yentimi ntoshu ya neme nyina jesemu. Wo fanti sabi ti onti wa o shadi ya nti o she eye sa ese wo eta. Adini wan anya ni won ase adu won pese oman no kra poto. Nti manyo ha jese beto abasa mo biom. Na wafa wade ngani atoso se obabewia ndisipo obewia yen pa sanu obia me na ofu pre sanu obewia yen na oba sabe mpefu ne bu bese o do ni to sabe o ma me tese abekoro pe butusu o Nti no when you when you fit out no so no o ma ntoko ama ma yin.
We dey ebe we say we dey awiakete we dey afa bedini mu fakọ kwasi ada nwumre wo te be mi bu be ho na ye no Peace FM na awiakete we dey afa be kan sem hunu we dey akire yen 0302 257902 na papa nya enya ne yire no maame na wo de wani akoto sabi o maame akosu akuma so. Good afternoon.
ADAKABRI.
Your tea ya na sumu ye de.
ADAKABRI facho ya uzali mi frepisu ubeti ma frebi debu ala the only illiterate person here this.
Ya uzami mami tie wa.
Abe bole na we hu benugo ageso polishing kakra.
We de awiakete na wo de bebo ye mu maso sa.
Eya omra meche na bebu na.
Ya uzami tie o.
Yo, no ADAKABRI asamofie enjo ya okamanya dabre nyeye. You best say Ghana politicians one can say ewiase we take to film work or san supano. ADAKABRI me no mienu na eto abama wan san o menya bibi gina yo. Me dey me catch up president say nyama sheda koye pass ADAKABRI na me di ntro. Enye say bia maye NDC me kasama NDC chinchini Sadia na ya ADAKABRI beka hwende papa bi se ne ba efi school ba no wonam ina se adia order boarding school na mproka bosa akwara sa no jo woda beti mproka na enum wo moja sa wo
ya usa
ADAKABRI
what it is wo there's a mproka enum na just. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Why ADAKABRI to say?
Na nyini yamu ya naso
Me one di boni bi ene makwa mo Nyankopon de odaso shirame na matamfo na bre. Be jawa fisa cha Jeff Spain wo Ablukman Central mi chana pa ku afi mi chana. ADAKABRI via se sankofa bi wo ha enye o. One will present, the one will be already present. Now, so call us have the present view. And MANSO, Nana Danko Kupado, and Dr. Baumia, Dr. Baumia, Nam no, Shania, I have full, our more drop. Our body so. Say, my yard, somebody free education about, am I a one for a young info, if you want half a to say, you're preferring a view. And see about 12 massively. No be on nobody present. Not all your young flu. Namuna yari akadompe. Also $2 billion. Also for free education. Na do danko kufado. Why you free education money? Practice for food and dog. One factory or jama yeah. Yes, some for Benjamin say. Bahama samna honso man view. Anya you. Anya danko fado ha. Yechi. Master they say they got two about you got two about near you present. No be who Monsan be the president. More yana say obi no me host mayo.
Okay, finally. Eyentie enipa oh no mo. Good afternoon.
Hello.
At your first saying.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, mpacho me contribution ka kran person me yesi. Uti kwekwe anyido ni kasa wonse on site with NDC kra because all kasa tia Mahama according to the speech now here this afternoon wonse kasa tia Mahama completely and the submission na NDC deputy secretary here why dear papa no kasa ye min dada na se obi mpel nyamenti nyame oho NDC besamba ko nyano so
yo ya de wase papa ebeko fie na fie ya ye koyi no eje akire di ama abramo wane eye DJ foreigner na minim di asifie oba ya pe mimmo amrado tinton time for mano eti foreigner amintie we will beat fear Abena.
Me ma beka Joseph.
Hey, I
Me Adakabi me. Tito tai no ka minim nyum kro. Me minim nyum kro je ba ni se na beka Joseph bo ma me.
Na me na me mama.
Me menka. Menka se bo hwe ma me.
Abena. You are chickening out.
And I mean,
come on, I didn't know.
I can remember the boss was so. You are
chickening out.
And I remember cat was there, but I did don't time that meeting don't time why.
Hey,
Maybe
Abena. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. And then I want to see you shaking.
Hey,
keep shaking when you. Abraham, heavy, breaking me trust at Tinton time. And so, I don't know. That is your. Quite an interesting afternoon. Keep listening to Neat 100.9 FM. That pretty lady, that lady, flamboyant lady, that fashionable lady.
Hey, stop it.
Come on. I'm not waiting for you. One DJ foreigner. And nobody ever copy, nobody ever call, nobody ever call, nobody ever call, nobody ever call, nobody ever call.
Jerry.